Hey folks, we are moving on to 7.5. Okay, 7.5. 7.5. 254. Oy. Let's do an easier one first before we do 254. Here's the idea. Let's say you have something like 2/5 is equal to 7 over x. So if you have a single fraction equal to a single fraction, so of course, look at the denominator and say to yourself, is there anything that would create a divide by 0 situation? So you'd say, oh yes, the domain is make sure x is not equal to 0. Okay. But now here's a little shortcut. If you have a single fraction equal to a single fraction, they call this proportions, then they do this whole cross multiply trick. So you may have heard the term cross multiply. So it's just this product equals that product. So this diagonal, 2x equals this diagonal, 35, divided by 2, divided by 2. X is 35 halves. So that's the big idea. When you have single fraction equals single fraction, we call it proportions. So 254, we have 56 over 72 equals y over 9. There's no variable, no letter in the denominator, so we don't have to worry about denominator. And we could just cross multiply. If you have a calculator, that's probably easier. So let me just use my calculator. I might want to reduce 56 over 72. That's another approach. But I'm just being super lazy. So 72y, that's this diagonal, equals 9 times 56. So on my calculator, 9 times 56 is 504 divided by 72 is 7. Y is 7. If I didn't have a calculator, I probably would have reduced that 56 over 72. So 56 over 72, let's see, y over 9 is equal to 7 times 8 is 56, 8 times 9, so that means 8 goes into both. 8 goes in here 7 times, 8 goes in here 9 times. Oh, yeah, I guess you can kind of see. Cross multiply, 9y equals 63, divide by 9, divide by 9, y is 7. Same. Okay, so let's move on to 260. So that's the first big idea. Proportions, cross multiply. N plus 10 over 4 equals 40 minus n over 6. No variables in the denominator, so let's just cross multiply. And whether you do this one first or this one first, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Let's just do this one first. 6 times n plus 10 is equal to 4 times 40 minus n. Clean things up. 6n plus 60 equals 4 times 40 is 160 minus 4n. Add that 4n, so that's a 10n. Subtract 60, that's 100. Divide by 10, divide by 10. N equals 10. Okay. So now, we're going to use this idea of proportions to solve things like 264. 264. So we're going to use proportions to solve some word problems. So 264, Jesse's car gets 30 miles per gallon of gas. So 30 miles per 1 gallon of gas. Okay. If Las Vegas is 285 miles away, how many gallons of gas are needed to get there and then home? If gas is 309 per gallon, what is the total cost of the gas for the trip? Okay, so 30 miles takes 1 gallon, and so I'm interested in Las Vegas is 285, but they want us to drive home also. So 2 times 285 miles is going to be how many gallons of gasoline? So the 285 is how far it is to Vegas, and then multiply that by 2. Okay, so you see how it's this is to that as this is to that. So a little cross multiply. So 30x is equal to 1 times anything, it's just that, 2 times 285. So we're figuring out part A. So then 2 times 285, ask my calculator, because I can't do that on my hand, times 285 equals 570. 30x equals 570, divide by 30, divide by 30, divide by 30, 19. 19. Okay, so to go to Vegas and back is going to take us 19 gallons of gasoline. 19 gallons. And then part B says, oh, hey, by the way, it's $3.09 a gallon. Okay, so I need 19 gallons. And just multiply that by $3.09. So it costs $3.09 per gallon. So if you've taken some chemistry, you see how the gallons kind of get rid of each other. Maybe there's a dollar sign up there on the 309. Without overthinking it, you probably just said, oh, okay, so I take that 19 times 309 because you've driven a car before. 19 times 3.09. It's going to cost us $58.71 in gas to drive to Vegas and back. Okay. So that's pretty much how those ones go. There's just proportions, no big deal. Let's do 274 for fun. It said cookies. Cookies sound like fun. 274. Okay, oatmeal cookie recipe calls for half a cup of butter to make 4 dozen cookies. Hilda needs to make 10 dozen cookies. How many cups of butter does she need? So half a cup of butter to make 4 dozen cookies. And we're interested in her making 10 dozen cookies. So we're interested in how many cups of butter. Half a cup of butter for 4 dozen cookies. How many cups for 10 dozen? Cross multiply. 4x equals 1/2 times 10. 4x equals 5. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals 5/4, which is 1.25, which you might want to call 1 1/4 cups of butter. Centered. Cool. Cool. Okay, then they take this idea and they bring it to triangles. So if you have triangles that look exactly the same, like all the angles match up, so we call that similar triangles. It's as if you took a triangle and then you put it on like a Xerox machine, copy machine, you said, hey, make it bigger. So in 276, for example, here's a triangle, and then they have a bigger version of the triangle. 5 halves, D, 7, Q, 9, 11 halves. And they tell us that these triangles are similar. So the symbol for similar is like one little squiggly. So if it's similar, it basically means that this angle is the same as this angle. This angle up here is the same as this angle. And this angle is the same as this angle. The way I like to think of it is I put this picture underneath the Xerox machine and I blew it up. I stretched it out perfectly. Okay, they're similar. So here's the idea in terms of the sides. We could say that 5 halves is to Q. So this triangle is to this triangle, just matching things up. Just as D is to 11 halves. Just as 7 is to 9. That's one approach to it. Okay, so now they want us to solve for Q and D. So we can solve for this one, and then let me then use that 7/9 again to solve for this one. 5 halves over Q. Okay, so cross multiply. 9D equals 7 times 11 halves. So that's going to be 9D equals 77 over 2. Divide by 9. Tell me if this makes sense. Instead of divide by 9, what if I multiply by 1/9? You see how that's technically dividing by 9? And then if I multiply by 1/9, divide by 9. I'm basically putting a 9 on bottom, putting a 9 on bottom. Cancel. D is equal to 77 all over 18. And 77 and 18 don't reduce, so we're done. Okay, this is a Q. Let's try something similar over here. So cross multiply. 7q is equal to, what the? That's a 9. I can't read my own writing. 9. 7q is equal to 9 times 5 halves. 7q equals 45 halves. And then let's do a similar trick. If you want to divide by 7, it's like multiplying by 1/7. So if I put a 7 on bottom, I'll put a 7 on bottom. So q is equal to 45 over 14. Hopefully that little trick made sense. So multiply both sides by 1/7, and you get the 14 on bottom. Okay. Oh, and then here's where you're going to not like it. They take those problems we know, the distance equals rate times time, and then they combine it with what we were doing last chapter to make for very fun problems. Okay, a private jet can fly 1,210 miles against the wind. Distance equals rate times time against the wind with the wind. 286. A private jet can fly 1210, so distance is 1210, miles against a 25 mile per hour headwind in the same amount of time. It can fly 1694 with 1694 with. So it's almost as if there's two different scenarios going on here. Okay, with a 25 mile per hour tailwind, find the speed of the jet. Okay, so the wind is 25 miles per hour. So let's say the plane, I'll draw a plane, it has speed r. So if you're going with the wind, your speed is, you're going faster, it's r plus 25. Your rate of the plane with the wind, and this is r minus 25, because you're going against the wind. Okay, and then it says, well, let's pause for a second. We know that distance is rate times time. So, this is so tricky. So tricky. Tell me if this makes sense. You're not going to like this. Based on this and this, what goes here? We're trying to figure out what goes here. This is super tricky. So if I'm trying to figure this out, if I'm trying to get this alone, what if I divide both sides by r minus 25? Oh gosh. 1210 divided by r minus 25. Okay. That would go there. Let me try and explain it a different way. I'm going to temporarily put a question mark here for 1 second. So off to the side, let me do some work here. I'm going to say that r plus 25 times question mark is equal to 1694. And I'm trying to figure out what question mark is. So I divide by r plus 25. I divide by r plus 25. And so that's what question mark must be. Oh, so this is just 1694 divided by r plus 25. Oh, so this divided by that goes here. Because what's r plus 25? If I multiply this times this to equal that, you see how the r plus 25s cancel? 1694 equals 1694. Okay, ponder. So if you're angry, it's probably right now. This is a weird idea. But we're going to keep doing it. So right now I'd say just kind of buy the idea. You're like, okay. And then notice how they said it's going to take the same amount of time. So this time must be equal to this time. Aha. So 1210 over r minus 25 must be equal to 1694 over r plus 25. Since the times are the same. Oh, now we're back at what we were doing in 7.4. Okay, we need a common denominator of r minus 25, r plus 25. See how we take this new idea and bring it back to what we know. So this piece right here needs an r plus 25. I'll just use a new piece of paper. So we had 1210 over r minus 25 equal to this. So what I wanted to do is get the common denominator. So this one needs an r plus 25, r plus 25. This one needs an r minus 25, r minus 25. Go in your time machine. In the very beginning, shouldn't I have said, look at the domain? Yes. So off to the side, the domain, 25 would mess things up, minus 25. So make sure that r does not equal 25 or minus 25. Okay. Let's keep moving forward. Are the bottoms the same? Yes. So 12 r 10 r plus 25 equals 1694 r minus 25. Next one's going to make more sense. You'll see the pattern. So this is 1210 r plus 25 times 1210. 25 times. You got to turn your calculator on, otherwise it's worthless. 1210 times 25. Oh my lordy. 30250 equals 1694r minus 25 times 1694. Oh my gosh. 42350. 350. Okay, let's bring this over there. So that's going to give us, son of a gun. Let's try that again. 30250 plus 42350 is 72600 equals 1694 minus 1210 is 484r. Divide by 484, divide by 484. Oh my gosh. 72600 divided by 484 equals 150. How fast is the plane traveling? 150 miles per hour. Miles per hour. Okay. See how fun and easy that was? Oy. Okay, let's try 288. Now that you've seen how those problems work, remember the first problem is always upsetting, but then once you see it, you go, okay, well, I think I can replicate what just happened. Distance equals rate times time. Okay, 288. Darren can skateboard 2 miles against the wind, against the wind, with the wind, skateboarding, and Darren will say goes at speed r. So the speed, he's going against the wind. With the wind is plus, so against must be minus. Okay. Can skateboard 2 miles against a 4 mile per hour, and in the same amount of time he can skateboard 6 miles with the wind. Pause. Okay, now reread the problem. Can you get here? Does this much make sense? It's just like last problem. Okay, so similar to the last problem, what goes here? Okay, well, last problem you said I just put the 2, that value, and this one on bottom. I didn't like it, but I guess it makes sense since these 2 would cancel if I multiplied across, and I'd get 2. And then I'll do the same thing here. So this is 6 over r plus 4. I guess it makes sense because this times this would give me that. and then it says it takes the same time, same amount of time. So this is equal to this. Oh, so this is just like last problem. Yes. Okay, so then like last problem, I need a common denominator. Off to the side, your domain. Make sure r does not equal 4 or negative 4. Okay, so need a common denominator of r plus 4, r minus 4. So multiply this by r plus 4, r plus 4. Maybe put that in parentheses so it looks pretty. Multiply this by r minus 4, r minus 4. Are the bottoms the same? Yes, get rid of them. So we have 2 r plus 4 is equal to 6 r minus 4. 2r plus 8 equals 6r minus 24. Clean things up a little bit, and we're going to have 4r on the right. Add the 24, we get 32 on the left. And divide by 4, divide by 4. R is equal to 8 miles per hour. Done. Okay. So just like last problem, easier numbers, much better. Makes total sense. Does it get more difficult? Oh, one more concept. Oh my lordy, 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 lordy. Okay. Classic problem. Let me just give you the classic problem. It was like mowing a lawn or painting a fence. So Bob, Sue, together. Okay, so let's just say we're going to paint a fence. If Bob was to paint the fence alone, it would take him 3 hours. If Sue was to paint the fence alone, it would take her 2 hours. And so the question would be, how long together? So far, so good. So the way you set it up is you say, one person working individually plus the other person working individually would be equal to 1 over them working together, t. So let's just solve this out. So this is just an example problem. It takes Bob 3 hours to paint the fence alone. It takes Sue 2 hours to paint the fence alone. How long would it take them working together? Okay, so individual plus individual, 1 over individual plus 1 over individual equals 1 over together. Okay, let's solve this. Oh, domain first, make sure t does not equal 0. Common denominator of 6t, so this needs a 2t, 2t. This needs a 3t, 3t, and this needs a 6. Now, 6t, 6t, 6t. Bottoms are all the same with that common denominator of 6t. Get rid of them. So you have 2t plus 3t equals 6. 5t equals 6. Divide by 5, divide by 5. T equals 6/5, 1 and 1/5. So how long is it going to take them together? 1 and 1/5 hours. Okay, a fifth of an hour, so aren't there 60 minutes? Just to get a better answer, 60 minutes. 1/5 of 60, what's 1/5 of 60? 60 divided by 5, 12. So I guess you could say 1 hour, 12 minutes if you prefer. So I don't know what the back of the book looks like. So it's going to take 1 and 1/5 hours. Okay, more specifically, or rewrite it. Oh, how many hours, minutes? 1 hour, 12 minutes. The 1/5, how did I turn that? I just did 1/5 times 60. So 1/5 times 60 is 12. Okay, let's try a problem now. How long is this video? 23 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. 306. 306. We have Sam, Dave. Takes Sam 4 hours to rake the lawn. His brother Dave can do it in 2 hours. How long will it take them working together? Okay. So this is just a classic problem. 1 over 4 plus 1 over 2 equals 1 over t. Just like last problem, t on bottom, so let's make sure t does not equal 0 for the domain. Common denominator of, we could say 8t, but wouldn't 4t be easier? 4t, so this needs a t, this needs a 2t, and this needs a 4. So t plus 2t equals 4. 3t equals 4, t equals 4/3, which is 1 1/3 hours, or maybe you say 1, and then what's 1/3 of 60? 1/3 times 60, 20. So 1 hour, 20 minutes. Again, I would stop right here, go to the back of the book. Oh, they gave it hours and minutes, and then convert. So I'm not sure what the back of the book gives. So they take this basic idea, and let's see, we'll try 310. If his dad helps him, let's try 310. And then we'll be done with the world's longest video. 310. Okay, watching his dad's car alone, Levi takes 2.5 hours. If his dad helps him, oh, you mean if they're working together? Then it takes 1 hour. Together is 1 hour. How long does it take dad alone? Oh. Okay. So, Levi, what is this? 1 over 2.5 plus equals together. The together goes over here. Together took 1 hour, so we'll put 1 on bottom. Okay. And then the dad alone, we'll call that x. Aha. So you see, instead of giving this piece and solving for that, they give us this and then together, and they want us to figure out the alone. Okay, no big deal. So x on bottom, so domain, make sure the answer is not 0. Okay, so it looks like 2.5x would be our common denominator. This needs an x, this needs a 2.5, and this needs a 2.5x. Okay, so x plus 2.5 equals 2.5x. Subtract x. Divide by 1.5, divide by 1.5. So x is equal to 2.5 divided by 1.5, 2.5 divided by 1.5. Enter. 1.6666666, 1.6666667. Okay. So what if instead, if you're not good with decimals, what if we said x is 2.5 over 1.5? And then you can just move the decimal. So if I move the decimal 1 up top, I can move it 1 below. So this is just 25 over 15. And 5 goes into both, which is 5/3, which is 1 2/3. So how long is it going to take? 1 2/3 hours. So 1 2/3 hour seems good. And then if the back of the book, I don't know what they did there. So 1 hour and then 2/3 of an hour. So 2/3 times 60. So 2 times 60 divided by 3. 40 minutes. That's right. Okay. So again, I'm not sure if the back had a decimal or a mixed number, or they actually broke it up into hours and minutes. Oh, there's more? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to take a break here, and we'll continue with the funnest section ever.